The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health, fitness, and diet. Living a primal lifestyle. Your good health is your good wealth. Now, your hosts, Nico De Haan and Paige Clarke.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Nico De Haan. This is Paige Clarke here, and we're going to give you some information to keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise so you can keep on trading. And I'd like to remind you that our number here is 877-927-6648. And our Health Signals newsletter is out. We got issue 5 for the year, and it's packed full of good things. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And, of course, if you want to get a hold of Nico at TFNN.com or Paige at TFNN.com, you're welcome to give us an email and tell us your thoughts, answer your questions if you want, or give us some suggestions what you want to hear on the show. How's it going, Paige?
It's going great.
Yeah, I know. It's a wonderful day here in downtown Clearwater. You know, it's 61 degrees. We're having our winter. Our normal winter.
This will be the last.
Yeah, maybe.
This will be the last.
I like the cold fronts, you know, it just kind of revitalizes.
It'll be hot soon enough.
Oh, yeah, coming in, hopefully in June, but usually May, we get the warm air coming through and some more humidity. But it's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, like I said.
So, let's talk about
my boo-boo. I just got an accidental headbutt. We were doing some techniques, inside leg trip, and...
Because you're training really hard.
Yeah, we're training hard, and you know, that's just the way it is. It didn't hurt that much; it was just bleeding a lot.
But you got a couple stitches in there.
Went to Frank Armstrong, who's my dermatologist, and also a member of Gracie Baja. And of course, I slide right in there. He says, "Hey, that looks pretty nice. Let me stitch that up for you." And was in and out real quick, and it's a beautiful thing. So
looks like it's healing really nice.
Yeah, it's healing good. It's just another distraction, you know, but. We're getting ready for the Pan Ams, and we've got 20 people already signed up for our dojo. Probably, I think 2 or 3 more are going to sign up.
And that's going to be the 22nd?
It starts on the 20th and goes all the way through the 24th. I fight on the 23rd, I think.
Okay.
I fly out on the 22nd.
And I'll be doing the show by myself.
Yeah, well, you got a couple of guests lined up. Some really good guests, too. One in the studio here.
Yeah, I have Jen Devlin of Celtic Complexion Society. She's a local... esthetician product formulator who makes organic skincare, and she's actually has a great following because a lot of it was to combat rosacea and sensitivity, you know, to people that were having troubles with different products. Cool. And she has a big following, a lot of clients in the Boston area, and I know a lot of our tigers and tigresses are from the Northeast.
The Northeast, yep.
She's working up something special for us.
Beautiful. So let's talk about the health signals a little bit. Some great articles in here today, and we're really focused on what we drink in this. And the first one is what diet soda is really doing to your body. I mean,
the news is just full of stuff right now about, you know, why would anyone even spend their money on diet soda?
Well, it's because
sodas, period, are
because
empty
of the
calories.
Commercials. You know, it's, I mean, you see the Coke sign everywhere. You watch American Idol, they got Coke right in front of them. Right. They're drinking that stuff. I don't have any clue why anybody would want a soda. You know, I mean... I
don't think I've had one in 5 years. 6 years.
Been a long time for me too,
even then, I was never a big soda drinker.
Yeah,
you know,
so a lot of problems with sodas, and especially diet sodas. And in fact, some of the articles in here are about aspartame itself.
Yeah.
And the history of it. I gave a real in-depth history of how this.
Nice timeline of exactly what you know, how it was proven over and over again that aspartame is a neurotoxin and a dangerous ingredient. Yet the power of lobbyists and in industry to affect the FDA's decision. Yeah. And I just think it's really important that everyone understand that the FDA is not our friend. The FDA really does not work to support the consumer. They work to enforce the needs of industry with some concern for overt things. But
well, it's like the fluoride. We got fluoride back in the Tampa Bay area and Pinellas County.
Yeah, today's the day
so,
that they've added it back in.
Yeah, so the people voted we didn't want it, and then they said, too bad.
Well, what it was I found out there was like over 100 and some people that showed up to voice that they didn't want the water, and yet they had a one-person majority on the board. Now, can you imagine what kind of board votes when, and they only maybe had a handful of people that were against it. They were all party line dentists. Very few real consumers came out to say, oh, we definitely need to keep the fluoride in the water. It was like a handful of dentists, and then 100 and some citizens presenting evidence of the dangers of fluoride, and then they put it back in. But you never know. Yeah, it's never over till.
Yeah, I mean, it'll change, I'm sure. We've got some good officials coming in there, and so that might throw it the other way. Another thing about what you should be drinking instead, and then the high-stakes battle over the soybeans in court, and how the soybean, I think we talked a little bit about this last week, how this farmer is against Monsanto because of the genetically modified soybeans that were spilling over into his field. And
well, that's one of the top 10 genetically modified foods.
Yeah.
So that's why we just say soy is not a toy for the girl or the boy.
Yeah.
You just want to stay away from soy. You have to check boxes, and again, if you just don't buy boxes
in everything,
of that,
folks. It's in everything. And soy is bad enough by itself if it's not prepared properly. And
fermented soy is the one that probably contributes to the health benefits that the Asian people, the Japanese people see. Yeah. That's fermented soy.
And miso and
tempeh are okay.
Yeah. Right.
But in general, even those, the miso and the tempeh could be genetically modified.
Even tamari, which is a soy sauce that is traditionally made, is okay. Your normal
they're
soy sauce.
fermented, but chances are they're getting them from genetically modified.
It's possible. Very possible, too.
To get the fermented ones and then maybe find organic, that would be the better.
Another article on sleeping and how dietary nutrients really affect your sleep. A real important part. And what we're trying to do in these newsletters, folks, is trying to give you ammunition so you can do your own research.
Yeah, because there's tremendous links. There's tremendous, Nico puts a lot of time into creating a resource that has links to great videos that you should see, so that's good stuff.
And then another thing about the FDA and what it allows in the low-fat dairy, in milk substitutes, that's going to give you problems. And last week we talked about this ancient DNA that reveals that our changing diet is really the problem in causing most of our modern diseases, in fact, all the inflammatory diseases. So I've got the links to that in there, and it's a great article. And then all the stuff about aspartame is in there, and you need to read this to get an idea.
And then they're even actually talking about, you were talking about the ingredients in commercial dairy. Yeah. And probably most of you know that I actually do believe dairy, when it's whole and raw and unprocessed and unhomogenized, is a superfood. It's a great animal concentrator food. But, kind of coming back to this aspartame, and they just love this chemical, and they want to add it into everything, the soft drinks, the foods, the boxes, the packages.
Well, it actually makes you more hungry, is one of the side effects.
And it creates disease. Yeah. And disease is profitable. So they're wanting to add it to regular conventional milk. So if you're not already drinking, if you haven't found
without a label, too.
Oh, yeah, they want them to be able to add it without designating that it's in there. Yeah. So, gotta watch it.
And then a nice article about honey, and a particular honey that Manuka, which is in New Zealand, and how it really fights bacteria very, very well.
It has never failed on any bacteria that has been tested.
Yeah, pretty powerful stuff.
It's the first thing you want to put, to buy a jar of Manuka honey, by the way, it's like under 8 ounces. It's about $26. Like a Nature's Food Patch, it is. But it's highly effective for...
So you keep it for special occasions. You don't use it in your coffee every day if you don't.
Yeah, you might not. Yeah, you might want to save it more for skin application, and also it's also very effective for ulcers.
Oh, really?
Mastic gum and Manuka honey kill the bacteria, because 70% of ulcers are caused by a stealth bacteria. Wow. So there you go, Manuka honey.
And then superfood for your skin is the homemade broth. We often talk about the different kinds of broth, so there's a great article in there.
It's not Swanson's.
That's for darn sure.
Yes, and you give a great recipe of how to make your own broth.
It's simple, it's easy to do. And here is another article about why you should be eating more calories at night. And I know you have some ideas on that yourself.
I think that a lot of people become hypoglycemic at night. And they get the anxiety. Sometimes women, especially women my age and so forth, they'll start to feel heart palpitations. And sometimes it's because they've actually become hypoglycemic.
Yeah.
And Ray Peat says you should have a little protein, a little salt.
And maybe a little
and maybe
sugar.
a little sugar, like in the form of orange juice. I told you I had my little, I call it my cream dreamsicle.
Yeah, this is, you told me about this. It's
a little bit of milk and a little bit of orange juice.
Doesn't sound like it would be something that would go together.
But think about it. You know when you're kids, you had those little push-ups, those orange, what do you call it? They would
popsicle type.
Popsicle. It's like a push-up.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Cool.
It's good.
And then I have some great recipes and some fat bombs. Fat bombs are little things you can put it like in a tray, even a ice cube tray, and put a little fat in them, and the little concoctions I've come up with here, and with chocolate in them and almonds in them, and you can put them in the freezer, and then you can pop them in your mouth for a snack. This is kind of what I use when I go out west to get ready for my competition, because I want fuel, I want to be satisfied, I don't want to be hungry, and they're easy to carry. So great stuff.
That reminded me a little bit about something I was sharing this week on Facebook. You know, the power of using like an ice tray as a way to make little snacks.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, you've got your herbs, and many times you buy an herbal, you know, like an herb plant,
really good idea.
and you can't use it all, or even if you just buy bunches, and you can take it and then pour olive oil in your ice tray, and then drop your pieces of your herbs, and then they're ready. You can freeze them, and then you can have little, you know, bits of herbal and herb-infused oil to use in your cooking or something.
Good stuff. I've got some real Primal Lifestyle exercise, and this is a workout from. It's called 300, and it's comes from the 300 Spartans.
Yes.
The film, the great movie.
I did like that movie.
Yeah. And there's a whole set of exercises that you can do. Some advanced, some intermediate, and some beginner. And easy to follow. There's also a video included with that. And then a new piece of exercise equipment called Solo Strength, which is you can just have in your home, and they're really good for doing body weight exercises.
Using your own body weight to resistance.
And there's videos in that, too. And then I've got a thing on Go Paleo. We were going to have a guest, Wendy Schultz, on here from Go Paleo. Unfortunately, she got so busy, and she says, I can't do it. I apologize.
We'll get her another time.
Yeah, we'll get her all. And I still wanted to share anybody who goes on this type of diet and has information I want to support. And so I put that in there for us. And then our page at the end there. And what I put in there under our picture is Midway, a film by Chris Jordan. And this is a preview of a film that he's got, and it's going
to come out sometime mid-year.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful documentary, and you know, guys, we have to start supporting these filmmakers that are working to share with the world, you know, things that we're not hearing on our regular news.
What this is about is Midway, of course, is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 2,000 miles from nowhere, and only birds live on it. But when you see what these birds ingest on a daily basis, it's mostly plastics and things that we throw away. In fact, we're a throwaway society, so we really got to change our thinking and how we interact with the environment, because even native people all over the world, the first thing they notice is the trash that we leave behind when we travel. So that's
going to be a real eye-opener, so definitely click on that link.
Pick it up, folks. So it's only $5 for each issue on the first and third Friday of each month, and so it's $10 a month, and of course the first 30 days, no charge. So Paige and I will be right back at 877-927-6648.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Great Panther Silver. For more information, just click the Great Panther Silver banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Our number here is 877-927-6648. So please give us a call and pick up my Health Signals newsletter, okay, when you get a chance, because all this information is here for you. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about health and vitamins. And there is a difference in different vitamins, and there's two kinds. We have the natural vitamins, and then we have what we call synthetic. Mm-hmm. So why don't we talk about that? Because I know you're up on that.
Yeah, this article came across, and you and I kind of bantered back and forth on it. 6 crucial things to watch out for when buying vitamins and supplements. And this is really kind of at the crux of what I do. Because I have a lot of times people come into my office and they bring bags of things they're taking, and I would almost rather say, I wish you were taking nothing. And people think, well, what's up? Don't you like supplements and everything? Well, I really, my first and foremost choice is foods. Yeah. And to customize and find out what issues or what maybe deficiencies a person has, and to help them use foods. And it always involves animal concentrate or nutrient-dense foods, traditional foods, primal foods. But there are certain foods that come in the convenience of a capsule that we could call a supplement that I use because I do energetic testing to determine if you're showing up a little weak in one area of your body. We can take a whole food supplement and put it into your field, and it'll make you strong, and then that makes sense. You need it. But unfortunately, a lot of people are listening to the radio and watching the news, and Dr. Oz says this is great, and Dr. Oz says this is great, and they just go buy things with no concern as to whether or not it's really great for them.
Not only that, it's not a substitute for good food. You have to have a basis for your diet. You have to have that base.
We've forgotten that the word is supplement,
Yeah.
meaning to supplement.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just like, I'm going to eat anything I want, and I'm going to substitute with supplements.
Yeah.
So what I want to get into is that in my office, I mean, I do carry supplements, but I carry supplements that are excipient and additive free, and they're whole food based, once live source. Okay?
So they're not synthetic.
No,
so
they're not synthetic.
Synthetic is like they're conjured up from
coal tar derivatives and petroleum-based products. Most
There you
B
go.
vitamins that you buy, for example, in any store, whether it be Sam's Club or even your GNC or whatever, if you go and look, you're going to see that they're made from synthetic products.
Right.
So let me just kind of hit on a couple of points, and I want you to kind of keep this in mind, why, unfortunately, even at some of my favorite places, like our Nature's Food Patch, when I go to the shelf, there's only probably 10% of the supplement products that I would really recommend. I might send someone there to get a vitamin D, and they might have 6 different brands, but only one would not have some of the toxic ingredients. So let's talk about it. The first thing I want you to be concerned about is, are you buying a synthetic or a natural, once live, whole food-based product? The reason you want a whole food-based product is you want all the cofactors that make that nutrient work, because nutrients don't work in isolation. They work as part of a team.
Yeah.
Okay? So you want to look for whole food-based nutrients. How can you know the difference? I mean, sometimes they make it very difficult. DL-alpha tocopherol is vitamin E, but it's D tocopherol that is actually the real one. And they did a lot of things with studies that put a lot of fear in people. Oh, vitamin E is not good for people, or beta carotene could cause lung cancer. Because they were using synthetic versions. So I want you to really be particular about getting whole foods for your supplements. The other thing I want you to be concerned about is, after you look at the ingredients or the formulation, which may be excellent, you need to look for what we call the toxic tag-alongs or the excipients.
Yeah.
Magnesium stearate, my friends, is not magnesium the nutrient. It's actually a powder that helps the supplement manufacturer feed the supplements through the line so they can rent the capsule time to another manufacturer. It does nothing for your health and has been proven to lower immune system function and cause different diseases. So magnesium stearate, calcium stearate.
Yeah.
The other one is titanium dioxide. That's often added. It's used as a pigment in vitamins and supplements, and it's been linked to causing autoimmune disorders, cancer, and various other diseases. So if you're buying a supplement, I don't care how beautiful the formulation, that's what's so sad. You'll see companies that have really excellent formulations. And, you heard Dr. Oz said this was good and this was good, and when they're all together, they're really good. And then they add these excipients or tag-alongs that are called what we call flow agents or excipients.
Yeah.
So you want to look for companies that don't do that. Obviously, artificial colors are another thing. We know there's research that shows that some of these red dyes and blue dyes cause cancer and other situations. Think about the Flintstones, guys, that we've been giving our kids, and all the colors in those.
Sickening, yeah.
And again, there's also
GMOs.
genetically modified ingredients.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't understand that when they go buy vitamin C and they go buy ascorbic acid, they think, oh, wow, I'm getting a really strong vitamin C. They're buying a corn-based genetically modified version. Look for the whole food source.
And the last thing is
Irradiation. We've told you, look for organic, non-irradiated spices, because your spices are your medicine cabinet. Same thing with your nutrients. You don't want irradiated. So look for companies that are organic, wild-crafted, and don't use these bad ingredients.
And the number here is 877-927-6648, and we will be back in the next segment. Thank you.
Just recently, on December 28th, Market Insight subscribers were advised to go long the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, on December 28th at $63.91, and only 2 trading days later, after a huge jump in the market, Market Insight subscribers were advised to sell the QQQ at $66.64 for a $2.73 or 4.27% profit to start off 2013. At the same time, Tom O'Brien had advised his clients looking for a more leveraged trade that they could have initiated a position in the QLD, the ProShares Ultra QQQ ETF, and over the same 2 trading days, Market Insight subscribers were able to lock in a $4.48 profit or an 8.47% gain in just 1 trade. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during your free trial and pay nothing. Don't miss out on the next great trading opportunity in 2013. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle here on this great Friday, and it's March 1st.
It is.
Wow.
In like a lion.
Yep, spring
like
is
a
coming
lamb.
soon. We were talking about these products and foods and the vitamins, and another problem, of course, is eating out. We're a society that likes to eat out, and I'm not really talking fast food here, but, you need to avoid certain things when you eat out, and one of the questions that I get a lot, and I know you do too, Paige, is that when you eat out, what the heck do you eat?
Right.
And
because, the restaurants are not, for the most part, most of them are not real conscious and really thinking about this GMO issue, unfortunately. I mean, there's bottom lines, there's, cost containment and so forth, and, we were reading this one article, and the woman said she really analyzed the whole Charlotte, North Carolina area, and she came up with 2 restaurants that she could feel confident that they were not offering GMO type
and that's
ingredients.
a pretty health-conscious area in itself.
Yeah, but to only have 2. And, I think we have the same problem here where we live, too. I mean, we have some nice restaurants.
Yes, we do.
But you have to kind of try and put together your meals when you eat out and realize that they're very often using inferior products. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking. And I think the more people ask the restaurants...
That's how they're going to become conscious of what you want. And a good restaurant, and we have many here, like Paige says, they will listen to you, and they'll try to accommodate. Some of the things they won't do probably is change their oils. And I think that's the biggest thing. So I think one of the things that I would eliminate immediately is don't eat fried food.
Right. And because you know that actually frying food in coconut oil or even in butter is a healthy
Yes.
It doesn't. It's not damaging to
you
you.
ever
So
taste
do that
chicken
at home.
in fried butter or in fried
I
coconut oil?
haven't.
Oh, it's fabulous.
I'm sure it's delicious. Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah, and so, you don't have to have that picture that your fried chicken or your fried fish or something is necessarily an unhealthful food. It's if you cook it in the right kind of oil. And we want you to be thinking about pasture-raised butter, coconut oil, as being those choices.
Yeah.
But when you go to a restaurant, but what? I've asked before to have my like a fish pan sautéed in butter. Mm-hmm. I've asked for that.
Sure, and they will do that.
And I tell them things like I'm definitely allergic to seed oils.
Yeah, and when I go out with Ellen, she's allergic to dairy products, so we get everything without butter, and then I say, okay, bring the butter on the side, because even butter that's not grass-fed is better than most of the oils that you're using. So, if you're going to eat out once a week like we do, then, that's not too bad. But some of the things you really need to be aware of.
Yeah, here's a kind of a list of like 8 or 10.
Of course, corn.
Corn.
I mean, I'm not talking corn on the cob, but I'm talking about, corn as a vegetable, which it isn't, of course.
Corn in packaged products.
Yeah.
High fructose corn syrup. Corn chips. Yeah. Coatings on different things you get in the freezer. So, it really comes back to kind of staying on the perimeter of the grocery store. You're most likely, but you still have to be careful. Yeah. And soy, we've already talked about. It's not a toy for the girl or the boy. So, these are the products that are the most seriously genetically modified in our country. Yeah. And sadly, in other countries, they don't have to eliminate these foods. They don't allow these genetically modified foods in their countries. We do, and we are paying for it in our health. Yeah. Sugar, which is derived from beet sugar, it's genetically modified refined sugar. They're using sugar beets, and it's a genetically modified food, so we want to stay away from that.
Papayas from Hawaii, they're genetically modified, unfortunately.
Canola oil,
which is, we know this comes from the rapeseed. And it's highly acidic and spoils very quickly, gets rancid under high temperature, and they're using it for frying, of course.
And we talked about the name of that, I think, on one of our shows. It was named after the Canadian Oil Company. It was actually for machinery.
Yes.
And then someone came up with the idea, this is so cheap and easy to produce.
Flaxseed oil. Flaxseed is used in varnishes. And,
linseed, right.
Linseed oil. Of course, conventional dairy, I would stay away from.
Cottonseed oil.
Yeah, cottonseed oil. And, of course, all these restaurants are giving you squash and, yellow squash and zucchini and stuff like that. Those are all genetically modified. Stay away from those things. So ask for broccoli if you want something, or asparagus if they have it.
Yeah. And then the conventional meat.
Yeah, especially sausages and things like that. Some will...
Cured meats.
Yeah, cured meats are worse. But a good steak, even if it's not grass-fed, isn't as bad, as long as, if you're going to eat out, protein is the most important thing. So if you're going to have chicken, fish, or pork, or beef, then you're starting off at least with a good base. And we just want you to understand the reason with the conventional meat, when we say that, is that those animals are fed, most likely, cheap corn and soy-based feed. Products, but again, like you said, occasionally if you go out and you have a conventional steak, it's okay, but why not ask the restaurant, say, I'm interested in a grass-fed steak. Yeah. Do you have something? Maybe they'll start to offer a filet. Yeah. And then you'll have a better choice. That would be very nice. Yeah. Of course, anything fried, cheeses, if they're imported, then cheeses are usually pretty good. Yeah. Mitch from Boston in the chat room saying he fries livers in butter, chicken livers. Oh, yeah. Chicken livers and butter sounds good. Fabulous. Very good. Very good. With some onions in there too. I like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a great shopping list in here, and anybody wants that, you can contact me at Nico at TFNN.com, and I'll send you the forms in here. Great PDF of GMOs also. So, any information that you want. And just to read, because you'll see this when you're reading labels, look out for these hidden GMO ingredients, amino acids, aspartame, ascorbic acid. Remember I talked about vitamin C? It's actually, we'll have ascorbic acid in all kinds of foods. Sodium ascorbate, vitamin C, citric acid, sodium citrate, flavorings, whenever it says natural flavorings. It's really a shame we have to look for all this stuff just to go out and have a good meal. But that's the state of the condition here. It's hard to be 100%, but if we can try and do the 80-20, we'll be healthier for it. Yeah. So that's a good idea. Now, I ran across this article, and there's a couple articles that are related to this, but where your ancestors came from affects your food adaptation. And also, what you're eating now affects not only you, but also affects your children and your grandchildren. So we really have to be aware that how important this is for our genetic line.
Well, you know, back in Weston Price's time, one of his contemporaries is Dr. Pottinger.
Yeah.
And he did the Pottinger's cat study. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have heard of it, yes.
And, you know, that what he did is he simply fed cats cooked food or raw food, and he watched over a 3 to 4 generation, he watched the deterioration in the gene line.
Yeah.
And it was very significant. So we can take these parallels as we introduce these foods that we were not designed to eat. What are we actually doing to our gene line?
In fact, there's a website, and I don't have it in front of me, but I was reading about feeding your pets their natural food, and of course, dogs and cats normally eat raw food.
My sister has the best fed dog in the world. I mean, she makes it all raw.
And when you really see what happens to your pet when you start feeding them their natural diet, their raw food diet, first of all, people who are allergic to cats and dogs become non-allergic to them because their skin and their fur all change.
Right.
They become healthier. They don't get the kidney disease. They don't get the dyslexia. They don't. All these modern diseases that we are having, our pets are always getting.
I mean, and you're hearing about dogs and cats getting cancer and kidney disease and you know, back problems and leg problems. And I want to tell you, I mean, I can remember there's a movie coming out, or it has come out, called The Great Culling. It's obviously about fluoride, and it starts out with the producer, you know, with his dog, and he talks about how his dog was so arthritic in the hips and how he stopped giving his dog fluoridated water, and the traumatic, you know, transformation.
Yeah.
So.
And grains are another thing that really trigger the pain involved. It took me about 2 weeks of being on the Primal diet, and all the joint pain that I had went away. I still have stiff joints and things like that, but the pain is not there. And my wife is the same thing. She has lots of problems with arthritis. Right. So, I mean, you know, just take that as a big clue. It's
a great way to just, you know, encourage you, if you haven't eliminated grains from your diet, why not say you're going to do it for 30 days? And, you know, start out with kind of a marker of how you feel.
Yeah.
And give yourself 30 days. You can say to yourself, I'm going to be able to have grains or whatever food it is you're eliminating, you know, in a month. Yeah. But you're going to give yourself a month to do it.
Yeah. In fact, my dermatologist, Frank Armstrong, said to me while I was in there getting stitched up, he says, I've now been on the paleo diet for about a month. He says, you know, I feel better. Of course, he's been tracking what my wife has been going through, and that for the last 2.5 years, he hasn't had to remove anything from her. Where before,
I don't know if you've told them that story.
Well, I think I have, but to you know, tell it again is not a problem. You know, she always had something removed. I mean, every 3 months she could go to the dermatologist, and he'd be removing something. And then when we went on the Primal diet, then it was about a year into it, it all stopped.
And so now she's had a couple of years where she goes to the dermatologist
2.5 years and nothing.
Nothing.
And so finally he says, I am now convinced because it's the only change you've made. Because at first he said, oh, you know, I've never heard of this. You know, I'm a dermatologist. Surely they would be teaching us this stuff.
Right.
Well, they're actually just teaching you how to remove things.
Well,
and not so
our
much
skin is our largest elimination organ, really.
Yeah.
And
it's the biggest organ.
Exactly. And, you know, it's a big part of the elimination system.
Yeah.
So when there's stuff in there, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And if we're getting cleaner, then we don't need it.
So, you know, one of the things in this article, and the article says where your ancestors came from affects your food adaptation. And look at what your ancestors likely ate about 1,000 years ago. And you can go back farther than that even. And, of course, there was no grains. There was really... until 10,000 years ago, nowhere on the planet were they eating grains as a staple. So small animals can easily be caught in snares made from animal skins. In the winter, they tracking the snow made them, running them down, picking them up, exhausted. So they were doing lots of things to get these animals, and that's what their staple was. Mostly, it was always animals, and if of course you were on the coast, you were probably having fish.
Yeah, and they didn't have, you know, fruits. It was maybe a few months of the year. Or they might dry them a little bit because they could dry them.
Yeah.
But the fruits and vegetables, you know, despite what vegans and vegetarians want to believe, it's so hard when I have people come in and they've read the China study, and they've really been sold that they don't need protein, and I try and look at them, and their hair is breaking, and their skin's dry, and nails don't grow. You're not getting enough protein.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the Smithsonian this month, there was a big article about the Amazon Indians that have really gone back into the deep jungle because they were so dismayed at modern life. And now the Colombian government and also Peruvian government and Brazilian government are trying to protect these people and giving them their isolation. And some of the
respecting their desire to be apart.
And they're so much happier there. And what happens is when they get domesticated, of course, sort of domesticated, I guess, they become ill. They get various diseases. Of course, there's not much, they're not skilled. So, the kind of things that they can do is tourism kind of things. So it's not a good life for them. And going back into the forest, I can only imagine is much, much better, even as hard as that life is. Having a hard life is not really that bad for you. And the poorest people in the world have a hard life, and many of them, if you see some of these documentaries, you find these people are very, very happy and very satisfied with what they're doing.
And very healthy.
And they're very healthy.
And produce healthy offspring.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't have the infertility issues that we're having.
Well, there's no overweightness in traditional diets, Aborigine diets, people who eat their original food.
And that's what Weston Price found out, that there were no vegetarian or vegan traditional groups that had the thriving, shining health. They were all people who had animal products in their diet.
Yeah. So we really have to change our thinking on the whole aspect of our modern living, from the trash we talked about before, where you find this island full of birds and they're dying. And when you look at this film, and it's tagged in the last page of
you can get the link, and it's not, the film's not out, the Midway film's not out yet, but it's a nice trailer.
5-minute mini documentary on the film. It's heartbreaking. I had tears in my eyes by the time it was over, but you need to see it because you need to see what's happening even in isolated areas of the world. And we just leave trash all over the place, and the trash comes from our food, it comes from everything that we do.
All these packaged, processed foods and foodstuffs. Yeah.
So, getting back to this article again.
I like this point. This all boils down to your ancestors were likely eating a lot of meat, fish, eggs, bone marrow, i.e. bone broth, really, okay?
And a little fruit or vegetable.
And a little fruit or vegetable.
Yeah. That's enough. And if the fruit or vegetables is seasonal, it really becomes that herb that is so beneficial to us. If we eat an herb all the time, we kind of get used to it and the benefit is gone. But if you eat it seasonally in your area, it's a really, it's a medication.
I think it's a sign.
Yeah.
Seasonality to food. It's a sign,
Yeah.
It's a clue.
And it's the hardest thing today because we get our fruit and vegetables shipped. Really doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with
it's hard to know what's in season because you go in the store and everything's there. Yeah. But it's worthwhile to get to know.
You know what's in season is my newsletter, folks. It's out right now, and you get this thing twice a month. You get so much information you probably can't even digest it all, but it gives you a clue on how to get this information yourself, and you can dig deeper, and you can kind of convince yourself that maybe you need to be living a more primal type of lifestyle, just like we are. So the number here is 877-927-6648. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. We only have a few minutes left. I got quite a few emails this week from people, and one was from Mark, who asked me, is our diet perfect for pre-diabetic people? Well, not only is it perfect for pre-diabetic, but for diabetics themselves, too. Mm-hmm. It is the perfect diet for and resetting
insulin sensitivity by eliminating sugars and grains, because that's really what happens. We become insulin resistant.
It's really important to understand that this diet is really a healthy diet for
everybody.
For everybody with whatever problem you have. How you get into it may vary because of your sensitivities to it. So our bodies are programmed in such a way that if we've been eating poorly for many, many years, then it takes a while to adjust back to normalize your body. So that's important. Another one I got here from Alan. He says, I heard you say that you eat bacon and eggs, but bacon with nitrates, he was caught off guard by that.
Well, we've got some good ideas about that.
Well, first of all, one of them is that you can buy bacon from, farmers that kind of let their pigs go out and forage and then don't use nitrates. But some of the nitrates that they do use in these farms are actually salts, and salts to help preserve it. So there is a difference between
So he's not going in and buying the Oscar Mayer bacon at Publix.
Right.
Right. I think you actually get your pork from a farmer.
Yeah, Thompson Farms in Georgia.
Thompson Farms.
I know how he treats his animals, and I know that they're humanely killed, and so they're not under stress, so it doesn't spoil the meat. Also, these things are fed really good because they feed themselves.
Right, right.
And
then I told you...
yes, tell me about the Ray Peat.
Well, Ray Peat is a big bacon. You know, we talk about Ray Peat, and he is a big bacon eater, too. What he does is he takes his bacon, and he fries it up, and then he drains it off, pats it off, and then he puts a big dollop of coconut oil, and he refries it in the coconut oil. Yeah. So he basically cooks off the polyunsaturated fats, the PUFAs that we don't like, you know, that are coming from the grain and soy-based feed. Yeah. And he's creating a really healthy saturated fat coconut oil. So that's maybe a way to look at doing it. I like that idea.
And we get a lot of emails from people, and we really do appreciate it. And this is where we get really ideas from the show. I mean, Alan has sent me quite a few articles, and he sent me this thing on Parkinson's disease, but I didn't get to it today. But he also was the one who sent me the link to that movie, Midway.
Well, the Parkinson's disease, and that was a really great article, is, I believe, a disease of toxicity and inability to detox of chemicals. I think there's a really strong chemical connection.
And also a real connection with a diet that is low in fat.
Low in fat, exactly. I mean, exactly.
Yeah, so.
Another
thing that's happening, of course, Paige and I like to go out in the community, and I'm giving a talk at Nature's Food Patch in a couple of weeks on the 14th, Thursday night at 6:30. So any locals want to come and see me and meet me and listen to what I have to say about, how diet has changed over the years. And I'm also got an opportunity to speak at one of the high schools, so that
if we could spend more time talking to these kids and catch them now.
That's the idea. And these kids are really interested in it. The person who put me in touch with the school said, you're going to be just flooded with questions because these children, and these are high school students, they're really interested in their food. I mean, they're waking up to the fact because things are changing too. I mean, they're taking sodas out, and now the question comes why, and so they hear about lots of things, and they're inquisitive. And of course, they're the ones that are on the web day and night looking for things. So they're doing their research.
And these teens are seeing stuff go through their Facebook pages. I mean, there's good things to this social media.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much the show, folks. We'll be back next week, and of course, I'm going to be gone at the end of the month for a couple of weekends, so Paige will be here, and you've got some great guests lined up. So
I do.
We're looking forward to that, so we'll talk to you next week, and eat well, and
stay healthy.
Stay healthy, folks.
See you next time.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.